It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 29th of June. I'm Michael Groff. An increase in the number of showers and storms around here today as the monsoon gets a bit more active. But then southwesterly flow starts to take over and we should see some drier air working in starting tomorrow and continuing through most of the upcoming holiday weekend. But storm chances may again return by the time we get toward the middle and latter part of next week, along with hotter temperatures. All right, let's talk about it. Looking at the almanac from yesterday, 107 degrees the afternoon high, 87 was the morning low. The normal high is up to 107 and the normal low 82. And that record high, 118 degrees from 1990. Looking outside right now at 10:30 a.m., mostly clear sky across the area. Yes, we're already at 100 degrees at Sky Harbor, and it's muggy, dew point at 60, relative humidity 27%. The winds are light and the barometer is falling. The weather pattern here across the western states will be undergoing a transition in coming days. We have a trough off the Pacific Northwest coast. Our ridge is being nudged to the east, and as a result, the flow aloft is beginning to turn out of the southeast today. And so storms that develop over the southeastern portion of the state and the eastern mountains will be pushed toward the lower deserts this afternoon and this evening. And there is even a little evidence of a weak disturbance down there, and that could help to enhance storm development later this afternoon and tonight as well. And then once that ridge moves further to the east, the flow starts to turn more out of the southwest by tomorrow. Here's the watch warning map. Pretty quiet across the country for the most part. Some red flag warnings over the plain states, a wind advisory over eastern Montana, scattered air quality alerts. There's a dense smoke advisory for the Tanana Valley of Alaska, including Fairbanks, where a heat wave is ongoing there, and those wildfires continue to rage on. Yes, high temperatures in Fairbanks could be getting up into the mid-80s today and through the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend. Here's the convective outlook for today. The standard slight risk of severe storms up north. It is severe weather season for the northern plains, places like Aberdeen, Fargo, Grand Forks, North Dakota, Bemidji, Thief River Falls, Crookston, Minnesota in that standard slight risk. The marginal risk for the adjacent states trailing all the way back into parts of Utah. Here in Arizona, we're in the green, so no organized severe weather is anticipated at this point. The SPC may put parts of southern Arizona in a marginal risk this afternoon. Hard to say for sure, but there is a potential for at least a few severe storms that could pop up today. The primary risk from storms would be strong damaging winds, some blowing dust, and lightning. Rain chances are somewhat limited today compared with what we had over the weekend. As we take a look at the tropics and the Atlantic Basin, things kind of interesting here. We have three waves on the board. There's one in the northwest Gulf of Mexico. There's a potential tropical cyclone there in the Caribbean, and then a weak wave out in the central Atlantic. We're not going to worry about that central Atlantic wave. Probably won't develop. The wave in the northwest Gulf of Mexico is interesting. Whether it develops into a tropical depression or not, probably won't. But even if it does, the main impact is still going to be very heavy rain for the Texas coast and some of the interior sections of Texas, and they're not going to complain about that. Some of those areas could really use some rain. And then we have tropical cyclone or potential tropical cyclone number 2, and that is, again, a low-latitude system hugging the coast of South America around Colombia there, moving to the west, still expected to become a tropical storm, although now the National Hurricane Center does not anticipate this becomes a hurricane. Still a small chance it might. As it moves westward, it will eventually impact parts of Central America, Nicaragua more specifically, as we head toward the end of the week and this weekend, and then move out into the eastern Pacific, where it will get a new name and could affect the Mexican coast. And who knows, maybe way down the road have an impact on our weather, but that remains to be seen. Bringing it back closer to home, let's take a look at precipitation. This is valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, probably less than 1/10 of an inch, if anything at all. And somewhat heavier totals are possible up north. Of course, any one spot can get more than what's shown here. This represents an average of what we'll see across the region. And we do expect a period of drier weather to come in here for the rest of the week and this upcoming holiday weekend. And we'll talk about that and everything else in more detail right now as we get to the models. Have a look at it. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run, and this is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Ridging here over the southwest, a southeasterly flow aloft. We've got our trough that's making its way eastward over the Pacific Northwest. So what it means for us down at the surface today. Mostly sunny sky this morning will give way to partly sunny this afternoon. Scattered showers and storms develop over the higher terrain and across southeast Arizona, gradually pushing toward the northwest into the south central deserts by this evening. The synoptic look looks a little bit deceptive here. It definitely shows more scattered to even numerous storm coverage here. But high-resolution models are not really bullish on storm development today. This is the 3-kilometer NAM at 7 o'clock this evening. And it just shows some popcorn storms here across south-central Arizona, including Phoenix. And even the storms that do develop are just more likely to be wind producers than they would be heavy rain. Now, of course, any one storm could drop some locally heavy rain, but we are more inclined to see blowing dust and strong gusty winds and some downbursts, maybe even an isolated microburst with the strongest storms today, as opposed to heavy rain, given the somewhat drier mid-levels of the atmosphere. But still, we'll watch for those storms to develop. We'll put a 40% chance of rain into the forecast for this afternoon and tonight. Speaking of tonight, that chance of showers and storms will continue overnight, and then lows will mainly be in the upper 70s to middle 80s, and then tomorrow, partly cloudy, and a slight chance we could see a shower or storm in the afternoon, but the flow aloft is turning more out of the southwest, so the deeper quality moisture will be pushed a little bit further to the east. Still can't rule out a storm here in Phoenix, though, but by Friday, even though the GFS is hanging on to moisture a little bit more so than previous runs had suggested, I think we're going to take the chance of rain out of the forecast for us here in Phoenix, keep it over the higher terrain of the eastern third of the state, and high temperatures on Friday into the 101 to 105 bracket. And the only reason we're not really warming up with the drier air coming in is an unusually deep trough developing along the west coast here, and that's going to linger into the holiday weekend, and that should hold temperatures in check, believe it or not. Now, being held in check temperature-wise for our part of the world this time of year means highs between about 100 to 105 for Saturday, Sunday, and the 4th of July. But believe it or not, that's actually just a shade below where we should be for this time of year, temperature-wise. So we'll keep the forecast relatively dry, relatively quiet. Again, some isolated storms will be possible in the eastern mountains and the southeastern portion of the state, but central and western Arizona should, generally speaking, stay dry. As we go to Tuesday, that trough is going to be lifting out, ridging across the southern plains and the Gulf Coast. Will start to expand back toward the west, but will stay dry for the most part. And high temperatures, again, somewhere around 102 to 107. Then a week from today, this is Wednesday, the 6th of July, and the ridge continues to expand and intensify as it does. But in doing so, the flow aloft will turn back out of the southeast, so we'll start to see some moisture increase across Arizona once more. Then, as we take a look out 10 days, this is Friday, the 8th of July. A few things at work here. First of all, the GFS indicates a nasty 597 heat ridge building in here across the west. But look at its position sitting to the north of us. That's good news. And the GFS, of course, doing what the GFS does best. And that's painting in one of these rogue tropical systems. This one affecting South Texas and Northeast Mexico. Look at that nasty thing down there near Brownsville. And, if that verifies, obviously, it'd be a significant tropical system impacting southern Texas and some strong winds and very heavy rain and storm surge and all the usual things we'd have to worry about. But again, it's 10 days out. It's the GFS in the tropical season. We'll worry about that once more models pick up on a system like that. For us, the thing that we're going to be watching is an increase in moisture coming into the greater Southwest. And that could mean a return to scattered to numerous afternoon showers and storms and maybe some disturbances rotating around that nasty 597 ridge here. So, things are looking more promising by the time we get out toward the end of next week. Now, if there is a tropical system down there toward South Texas, one thing those tropical systems sometimes do is they put out a lot of sinking air out ahead of them, a lot of subsidence, and that would maybe cut off some of that monsoonal moisture from coming into the Southwest. So for a number of reasons, we really don't want to see a tropical system down there, at least not a major hurricane. A tropical wave is okay. In fact, that might actually help us with more moisture, but not a tropical storm or a hurricane. All right, taking a look at rainfall for Phoenix. This is going out through the 13th of July, coming off of the GFS ensemble. Every single member indicates some precipitation during this period, with the ensemble mean just a shade over 4/10 of an inch. And temperatures off the national blend of models. On most days, high temperatures not too far away from where we ought to be for this time of year. Creeping up a little bit way out there toward 10 days as that big ridge builds in. Highs could push up toward 110 degrees, but that might be offset by chances of storms. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. Music fans, of course, I implore you, check it out. It's my streaming station. It's available 24/7, 365, the most chaotic mix of music you'll ever hear. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun while doing that. It's myself and the one and only Michelle that are involved in the programming and operation of that station. Do check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support, it is greatly appreciated. You guys be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves an amazing Wednesday.